Miloš, a very warm welcome. It's great to have you here with us today. We're really looking forward to hearing you play your piece on the accordion very soon. Now, it's a slightly unusual instrument. Tell us a little bit about how you got into playing it.
Thank you, Michael, for the invitation. I'm originally from Serbia. I started playing the accordion when I was 8 years old. I was actually attending special music school where the accordion was just one of the instruments available. And I like to say that accordion was iPad of my generation. I really wanted to know how it works. It's visually really appealing. And then obviously I love the sound early on, and later on, of course, I figured out that it's extremely sophisticated instrument, and I love it. That's the only instrument I play, and it's lovely to be here and perform for you.
Great. So after your studies at home, you came to London to continue your studies later on.
Yes. I finished high school also in Serbia, and then I came to study, and I was at the Royal Academy of Music where I completed my studies.
Great. So we're going to hear shortly 3 pieces that are just for the solo accordion, but you do a lot of ensemble playing and collaborate with a lot of other instruments. Can you tell us a little bit about what that looks like?
Yes, well, I'm really enjoying actually to present the instrument to general public, but also to work closely with friends, with colleagues in London and in the UK and abroad. I often like to think that the accordion goes well with any combination as long as it's properly arranged, and I always like to know what other instrumentalists and singers, of course, are doing, and this is where I get the ideas for all pieces. I also like to work with composers and present the instrument to them, but in terms of combinations, I like to work with strings, accordion and violin, accordion and cello, accordion string quartets. Obviously, accordion concertos are always great fun to play. But also, like all other accordionists, tango quintet, where we play pieces by Astor Piazzolla. But of course, tango world, it's huge and really inspiring for all of us. So I also think that, like I said, all combinations are great. Even often people would imagine that the accordion is extremely loud. It can be, but it doesn't have to be in a group. With other instruments, it's more about refinement and the sound, which has to project correctly. But for instance, accordion and guitar works as well as accordion and string quartet.
Yeah. So it's an incredibly versatile instrument, as you've already alluded to, and it's also a very beautiful instrument looking at it now. It looks very, very complicated. So for those of us who can't play the accordion or don't know much about it, could you give us a quick rundown as to what it is you have to work with and how you get all of these various sounds and textures out of it?
Sure, of course. Well, first of all, there are 2 main types. This is button accordion, button chromatic accordion, where the buttons or layout, it's actually chromatic, which means that we have every single note and scale simply by playing these 3 rows. And as you can see, first and second, fourth and fifth row are identical, which is really useful when we're looking for fingerings and different patterns. And these little stops here, or little buttons, are stops, and they are obviously changing the color, but changing the octaves as well. And they work exactly like stops on organ, for instance. And we don't necessarily have to stop the notes in order to play. We can, of course, hold those. Easy to do, but we can use the stops which are positioned on our chin, and we can just hold anything like this. We simply press this, which is a very, very good trick. The central part of the instrument is called bellows. It controls the sound, it controls the volume. for both hands. The left-hand side has the little buttons, and all accordions have obviously single notes on the left hand, but they also have chords which are fixed, major, minor, dominant seventh, and diminished. And often this system is used for folk music or for jazz. We don't necessarily have to play just major or minor. We can mix and match. We create really nice harmonies. Now, the classical instruments often have the switch called converter, which converts fixed chords into single notes. Now we have fully polyphonic keyboards, and we are able to play pieces by great composers just the way they were written.
So there's a lot of similarity to an organ in many ways, aren't there, with all of these different combinations of stops. Even just with your demonstration now, and as we'll hear with the pieces shortly, it's a very powerful instrument, actually. And so in order to create the dynamic range, is that simply to do with how much the bellows are used? Is that how volume and expression is controlled?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Left hand works all the time. It's the only moving part of the instrument that it's actually, that we are opening and closing. It's the left hand side. We have to be very sensitive with the accordion, and this is one of the things that I love most about it. It immediately, in a way, reacts to however we are feeling.
Yes.
It's connected to the body. It breathes with us, and this is what I adore about the instrument. But you're absolutely right. Using the stops in the left hand, in the right and in the left hand side, we are able to control dynamics, but also to be really sensitive with the bellows. And it's very difficult to put the instrument in the right category. Obviously, we know that it's a keyboard instrument. It has keyboards on both sides, but it also has reeds inside, so it very much works as a woodwind instrument, and it's a combination of woodwind and keyboard instrument. And again, this is a great thing about the bellows, that we can really control the sound the way we like.
So the left hand never stops moving. That's
Never,
feeding
ever.
the sound, keeping all the expression.
Left hand never stops moving, and this is the one of the questions I often get asked after the concerts, is that sometimes the audience think that it's not moving, but they can hear the sound.
Yes.
So the movement, it's tiny, literally tiny, and we are still controlling this note, and nothing happens. Often, even sometimes it feels that it's moving the other way.
Okay.
Because we are going against the gravity and controlling that. But you're right, it can be powerful, but that's just one of the features.
Great. And where was your instrument made?
This is Italian instrument made by Pigini, manufactured based in Italy, near Ancona.
Is it a reasonably new instrument? Or?
Yes, this accordion, it's only 8 years old.
Okay.
Now.
And I see you've got two very substantial straps. Is it heavy?
Yes, it is. It is. It has 15 kilograms. We are always sitting when we are playing, partly because of the weight, and of course because of the sound control. And we have to be in control of everything that is happening, obviously, on the right and left-hand side.
Fascinating. We'll look forward to hearing it played.
Thank you.
And so why don't you tell us about the first piece you're going to play?
Yes, I'm going to perform Asturias by Isaac Albeniz. This is a transcription for classical accordion, and originally this piece was written for piano. Nowadays, it's very often heard on classical guitar and classical accordion.
And as you've alluded to before, the accordions become a very versatile instrument for playing transcriptions of music originally written for other instruments. Has it had to be changed a lot from the original piano version, or is it largely true to what was written in terms of the notes and the registers on the piano?
Yes, it's largely true, and perhaps it's using interesting technique, which is called bellow shake, where we are, in order to recreate repetitive notes, we are opening and closing the bellows while holding the notes.
Right.
So instead of repeating them only with our fingers, like this, we can just hold and open and close in relation to what we need to.
Excellent. Let's have a listen.
Yes.
Next up, we have a piece of Scarlatti, so going back a couple of centuries or so. Another transcription. What exactly is this next piece?
Yes, it's sonata originally written for harpsichord by Domenico Scarlatti in F major. These works have been played on the instrument for many, many years, and I love them. What I really love about all performing sonatas on the accordion is that how delicate we can be with the articulation, and how I feel that we are able to create different sound world. You know, at least in my head, they often transport me to another world when I listen to other colleagues and friends playing, and also when I'm thinking about these works and the way I would love to hear them and the way I would like to perform them.
Yeah, excellent. Let's have a listen.
Thank you.
So to finish, we are coming right to the present day pretty much with this final piece. Tell us who it's by.
Yes, this is by a wonderful composer and accordionist Vyacheslav Semyonov, Russian, wonderful Russian player who obviously knows the instrument really well. The piece, it's called Dawn Rhapsody. I will be performing the second movement, and it is written and based on traditional folk song, but it is really interesting what the composer has done with, and he has taken the tune, but then has written the set of variations. And obviously, Semyonov knows the instrument. Being a player, he knows exactly where everything sounds best on the instrument. And just like in Asturias, this piece is featuring the technique called ricochet, when we are opening and closing the bellows. And again, in order to recreate this effect, which I'm sure you will hear at the very end.
It's a much bigger concept, isn't it, to either of the previous two pieces? Besides the ricochet, are there any other techniques that he uses that we might not have heard in the Scarlatti? Or?
Yes. Well, for instance, in the middle section, there's interesting overlapping of the major and minor chords, which are really written closely together.
Okay.
On the accordion, we are able to play, obviously, with two manuals or two keyboards. I think it would be quite tricky to do it on the piano if that particular section was going to be performed on the piano. So, which makes it a bit more accordionistic, I suppose.
And with original compositions for the accordion, as opposed to transcriptions of other keyboard works, are they written on two staves for a left hand and right hand? Would they look familiar to a pianist or an organist?
Yes, often they would. Sometimes we, obviously, when we perform organ works, we would read three staves, but very often two would be plenty, and they're able to fit everything they need to on two, occasionally three.
Great. So a very powerful piece, and we really hear the extremes of what the instrument's capable with.
Yes. Well, both extremely loud dynamics and very, very quiet pianissimos.
Excellent. Let's have a listen.
Thank you.
Miloš, thank you very much for joining us today, and it's been wonderful to hear these pieces, but also to learn something about the instrument. And I, for one, have a newfound appreciation for just what a versatile instrument it is, from the beauty of the transcriptions and those Baroque Renaissance pieces brought right in close to the listener, to the much bigger stuff. And I think it's worth saying that the accordion's having something of a renaissance nowadays, and as well as the repertoire, the new repertoire that's being written for it, there are always the transcriptions of previous works for keyboard instruments, and the accordion is being used as a one-person orchestra now, with opera transcriptions and other larger ensemble and orchestral works as a great vehicle for these big pieces being brought via one instrument.
Yes, thank you very much. I hope that the actual pieces were interesting enough for your audience also to hear. There is always a lot more, and I think as accordionist, I'm always surprised what the instrument can do. And this is, I think, great time to be accordion player, because we are able to perform on our own, like you said, and to perform in various ensembles, to work closely with composers, to create works which will stay on for many, many years. Transcriptions perhaps give a new life to the music that we already know, using techniques, whether they're new or old, but it's always, I think that's our in a way, a mission to make them sound interesting and refreshing still. And obviously, always my goal would be to present the works and to present the repertoire and to present a huge variety. Like you said, the instrument, it's extremely versatile, and it can easily cover many different styles, from folk music, where originally it belongs, to classical music, to jazz, tango, of course, and contemporary as well. So I think we do tick lots of boxes with this instrument, and I think being able to perform with and be surrounded by wonderful musicians in London, in UK, it gives me personally a great pleasure of being surrounded by these musicians and learning so much about repertoire, about music in general, and being able to make music with them. It's the best thing.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.